I don't believe it. And frankly, it seems too late to me, because if Joe Biden wins any prosecution, I think it's going to be shut down by the Biden Justice Department. Do you think Attorney General Sally Yates or Attorney General Hillary Clinton is going to allow these prosecutions to proceed if they go after someone like McCabe or Brennan or Comey even? Heck, they're not even going to question Obama and Biden, even though they're directly implicated in Obamagate. And I don't think I've talked about this before, so forgive me if I repeat myself, but we received new documents. Well, let me go back. I want to go back. Where's Durham? He had that big plea deal with Mr. Kleinsmith, the FBI lawyer, the Viva de la Resistance FBI lawyer, who altered an email to turn Page from a source to not a source to get a FISA warrant application approved. So he goes in, pleads guilty to making a false statement, but what he says during the plea, he says, well, I thought it was right. That's how he interpreted it. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He admits he changed it, but he doesn't think he did anything wrong. What kind of a plea agreement is that? Why would the Justice Department and Durham allow him, and why would Judge Boasberg allow him to do that? So a plea agreement that's not really a plea to anything illegal, is that what took place under the Durham investigation after this man was handed to him, Durham, on a silver platter by the IG, probably in the fall of last year at this point? This is the first big indictment or plea? I don't see, again, evidence that they're doing anything beyond this in terms of prosecuting or even seriously investigating senior officials. Brennan was questioned for 8 hours, finally. But his lawyer's saying he's not a target. I don't know if that's true. Maybe they're doing something. I don't know. But I don't believe it. And frankly, it seems too late to me, because if Joe Biden wins any prosecution, I think it's going to be shut down by the Biden Justice Department. Do you think Attorney General Sally Yates or Attorney General Hillary Clinton is going to allow these prosecutions to proceed if they go after someone like McCabe or Brennan or Comey even? Heck, they're not even going to question Obama and Biden, even though they're directly implicated in Obamagate. So I just don't see any prosecution like that being issued. We may get a report, but a report doesn't mean anything to this gang. It doesn't mean anything to them. They have a media that will spin it or hide the key details of the report. And if there's no prosecution, what difference does a report make? What difference would it make? Frankly, I'm concerned it's just too late to do prosecutions. I just think it's too late. There's no technical reason they can't do one shortly before the election, but politically, there's all sorts of reasons not to do it. I know there's no rule prohibiting it from happening, but there's been this received wisdom. I understand it's usually just a wisdom applied to protect leftists, and it goes out the window for others. But you can imagine the caterwauling that will take place if there's a significant prosecution of a significant figure, which makes, kind of like everything's kind of building on each other. There's all these reasons why I don't think anything serious is going to take place beyond what we've seen, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. So I'll just leave you. Well, I hope I'm wrong. How's that? But if you think there are secret grand juries going on and all these senior people are being brought before them and they're facing long jail sentences and serious prosecutions, that would be the biggest surprise to me, because I'm not seeing any evidence of that. Just compare and contrast the Mueller investigation and what went on there with the Durham investigation. Now, Mueller was abusive, admittedly, but you kind of see the indicia of what a serious investigation looks like, even though it was for unserious purposes. Here you have a serious investigation, or what ought to be a serious investigation for what are serious purposes, but you're not seeing any of the same indicia, which would be grand juries and witnesses and plea deals and things like that, suggesting others are going to be prosecuted. So will reassure you, though, no matter what Durham does, as you can see with our other work, we're going to keep on the heavy lifting. We're just going to keep on with our litigation, pushing and pushing and pushing. Biden, for instance, is getting a immunity for any investigation by the Media or Justice Department on Burisma, on China, you name it. Judicial Watch isn't. We're pushing for documents, still getting documents. So we don't wait for Durham. We don't wait for the Justice Department. We never waited for the Justice Department. I mean, the reason we have Judicial Watch is because the agencies of government aren't doing their job. And plus, there's an independent obligation, in my view, on the part of citizens to provide vigilant oversight over the government, which is what we do. So more is coming. More is coming. Like I said, more struck page documents next week or next month. We should get them immediately, at least all of them, but that's not going to happen. But so they're going to slow roll the release of them. And it's another reason why Wray has been a disaster in terms of accountability and transparency at the FBI. So getting back to Senator Harris. So we had these interesting documents come out. We just kind of do this basic work about politicians, especially ones that are newly prominent, like Senator Harris is. She was a San Francisco prosecutor for many years. She was, I